Well, welcome everyone. My name is Liz Dysart and I'm with the Crawford team at VIP Mortgage. We are one of the top 3 lending teams in town. We are top 200 nationally and we are a power partner with my home group. So I see a lot of you are my home group agents. And what I do is I do business development. So my role is to help our agent partners with their business, support them any way that we can to help you guys ultimately do more business, which is a win-win for everyone. Today we are here to talk about Homebot, which is one of my very favorite tools. Our team implemented this about 2 years ago and we've seen tremendous results for it in our business on the loan side. And then about a year ago, they started offering it for lenders to support their agent partners as well. It really started as a tool just for lenders, and then they saw all of the great kind of functionality that it would offer to real estate agents. So they started opening it up to agents about a year ago. However, agents need a lender to use it, basically. So you have to be tied to a lender partner, at least to have all of the functionality that the program offers. And I'm going to give you guys a great overview today. I want this to be interactive, so feel free to pop in anytime and ask questions. You can type them into chat. I may wait until the end to kind of get to them because I promise I'm probably going to cover them in the presentation. But if I don't, I will make sure that we get to your questions. Now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and I will give you guys a brief kind of presentation on Homebot about kind of what it is and what the features are. And then after that, I'm going to actually log into our Homebot so you guys can see how we use it, what functionality there is actually once you're in the platform. So it'll be more of a practical application, will be towards the end. This is kind of just going to be a features presentation at the beginning. And then at the end, we'll get into kind of how to use it most effectively, what it is, all that kind of stuff, and some of the great tools that they offer. And let's see here. Okay, so let's get started on this. So ultimately what Homebot is a tool for realtors and lenders to use with their database. And it is an email system that goes out once a month on your behalf. And really the goal is to help your database build wealth. And what they really realized, which I'll show you with some of the stats coming up, is that the majority of homeowners really don't understand how to use their home equity to build wealth long-term. As we all know, homes are kind of the biggest asset that most people will ever have. It's really important that we as agents and lenders can help our clients, friends, family, database understand their options with their equity and with their home in order to leverage it to get the most out of it. So they found that 83% of an average homeowner's wealth at retirement comes from their home. So that's a pretty shocking number in comparison to 17% are in 401ks or savings accounts. So we often think, we're putting money into retirement via different investment accounts or whatever, but what they found is that actually the majority of wealth comes from people's homes. So that was what this tool was designed in mind. Another really sad stat is they found that US homeowners lose over $1 billion every year in wealth because they are terrible at making home finance decisions. So it's hard for the average consumer, if they don't have a great lender that they talk to regularly, to understand, is it a good time to refinance? Or should I make additional principal payments? Or should I cash out? Or should I buy an investment property, so those type of questions, it becomes very hard sometimes for homeowners to understand. So Homebot is a tool that gives them all of those answers on your behalf as their agent. So you're the source of knowledge, providing them the information and really providing a lot of value to your database. So really what Homebot is a dynamic financial dashboard for the home that empowers consumers to build wealth with the largest asset that they own. So more specifically, I know it's hard sometimes in these generic marketing terms, but a dynamic financial dashboard, what does that mean? So it means it's completely customized to that homeowner's exact home equity position. So their loan data, their home value, their market statistics based upon the zip code that their home is in. And what does dynamic means? It means that they're able to interact with the report to find out specific information that they want to know. So I'll show you examples of this as we go. But this is one example. So at the top of the report, one of the things it does is it shows them how much equity they have, what their current payment is, how much they're paying in principal towards how much they're paying in interest. It shows them some options to save in paying interest long-term, but then it also shows them, would they be a great candidate to refinance? And it visually shows them in green or red if it would be a smart financial decision for them to do so. And underneath that, it gives them information about what that would mean. Now, this is old. Rates are a lot lower than this now, not even close. So I think, these numbers for most people refinancing makes sense at this point in time. But another great thing about Homebot is that on every single section, there's a blue prompt where they're able to click on it and get more information about that specific topic. And a lot of them have features where then it comes to you as a lead if they're asking questions about certain categories. And I'll show you exactly what I mean later. Another great option on the report is that there's a drop down that they can click on that basically they can pick if they paid $100 more a month up to $2,500 more a month. How much would they save in interest over the life of their loan? And on this particular person, if they just paid $300 more a month towards their mortgage, they would save almost $40,000 in interest on the life of their loan, and they would pay their house off 6 years earlier. So it's really cool for homeowners to see visually how that works. And it's a very easy drop down. This is another thing that a lot of our agent partners love. There's a prompt in there that shows them if they were to buy another home, how much home could they afford? So if they were to take a little bit of cash out of their home and put it as a down payment on an investment property, this particular person could buy an investment property, for $473,000 potentially, assuming they could qualify, but that's up to the lender to figure out, not you. But what this does is it prompts them to start thinking about some of these things, right? So it opens up some ideas. Or the second option is that if they were to move up, which is what a lot of you guys try to open up those conversations with your clients, how much could you afford potentially if you moved up? So in this client's case, if they were to sell their house, take all of their equity that they had built and put that down as a down payment on a new home and keep their payment the same as what they're currently paying for their current house, they could potentially afford a $1.3 million house. So again, this really just opens the consumer's mind to their different options that they have regarding their home. Another really cool thing is in one system, so there's some systems like this that tells a consumer what their home's worth, right? But I'm not familiar with or know of any other systems that show them all the other options. So in addition to the financing side, so if they could refi or take money out of their house, it also gives them options about if they were to take money out of their house for a remodel, if they were to rent their house part or all of the month on VRBO or Airbnb, what would that look like for them? It also talks about insurance and taxes, and it also talks about buying, selling, or diversifying. So it's really an all-inclusive system that becomes their source of knowledge on your behalf, right? Which is helpful. It really helps them become smart and empowered consumers, and it helps connect the consumer to both you as the real estate agent and a lender partner who's reputable. The lender partner is only included in the reports if they kind of engage with any of the financing type information, and I'll show you guys more specifically what I mean by that. But the consumer does not have access to any of this information. They can't just go to Homebot and get it on their own unless it's through a real estate agent or a lender. So it does help us be the source of knowledge for them. Additionally, the reports are co-branded for you. Every single time it goes out to one of your people, it has your branding on the report 7 times. It's at the very beginning of the report, and any of the sections that they click into, it's on there as well. Anytime they interact with the report, you know about it. So a lot of times they'll show up as leads in your email, depending on what they're interacting with. And it really helps get additional listings and referrals from current clients that you have, closed clients maybe that you put into their house, even like your holiday card list. I always tell agents, put your holiday card list in here as well. It can work all over the country. The data is national data. So it can help people in any parts of the country find out what their home's worth, and you're providing that information to them. Why would you want to do that for people in other states? Because, hey, if they think of selling, you could say, hey, if you're thinking of selling, please let me know and I'll refer you to a trusted agent partner in your market, and I can help oversee that transaction to make sure that you're getting great service. And then you get paid referral commission on that deal. So putting your database, your whole database in Homebot is really what I recommend and where we've seen the best success. But it also works with leads. And we'll talk a little bit about the buyer functionality in the report a little bit later in this class. And the thing I think ultimately that I love most about Homebot is that it is 100% a set it and forget it system. What do I mean by that? It is literally so easy. You upload your clients one time, you send them your spreadsheet and they do it for you. Literally, I'm not kidding. You can also add clients manually as you meet them one by one. All that you need is a name, an email address, and a property address. So very easy, simple data that's required. It sends them a welcome email on your behalf that you are able to fully customize to fit your branding and your style to basically introduce the report to them and what it is. And then after that, they get a report from you every single month in their email. You literally don't ever have to go in there and do anything again if you don't want, and then leads will come to you via email. But for the agents that do use it and go into the system and see who's engaging, that's where we've seen the best success. And I'll tell you with that what I mean later. I'll show you that visually, but really it's that easy. It can be completely set it and forget it if you want it to be, or you can interact with it regularly to get the best use out of it. But that is one of the features that I love. Also, it's great because again, it's all automated, like I said, as far as the monthly emails. So you don't have to do anything as far as telling it when you want them to send it out. It pulls data all the time, 24 hours a day from a variety of sources. So people ask me where they get the data. The company is owned by Black Knight, or that's where they pull their data from, Black Knight, which is one of the largest data providers in the world. That is who Fidelity National Financial uses for all of their data for all the title companies in the country. They have 70% of the title market in the United States. So the data is very, very accurate. They pull from all public records, all MLSs across the country. They pull lender data, like the loans that are recorded. And then they pull Freddie Mac data as well. And then there's also data that the users enter to help them refine the algorithms as well. So what it then does is it scores clients based upon how active they are or how interested they are in the information. And it gives you kind of a hot list of people to follow up with. And it gives them options to chat with you via text, online, email, or chatbot, and everything comes to you anytime that they interact with the report. So it's very, very easy. This is a quick example of what the client gets from you every month. So as I said, after that initial welcome email, they're going to get an email update with their digest, is what they call their monthly equity reports. They call them digests. So each month they'll get one that will have your name up here in the from. It'll have the subject line will be your home value has been updated for, and then it'll have their property address here. It'll tell them the month that the Homebot is. For the digest, it'll have their address here at the top. It'll say your new home value estimate is ready, and then it'll have all of your branding at the bottom here. And then when the client clicks on see your value, that's when they actually get to open and sort through their report. I'm going to show you one a little bit later. But what's great also is that Homebot measures not just the open rates of how many of your clients are opening these emails, but also the click-through rates. And I will say that is my second favorite part of Homebot is the amazing engagement that it gets from consumers. I've been in marketing in the real estate industry for about 12 years. The average open rates for real estate specific emails, like drip kind of email campaigns, are usually around 10 to 12%. The open rates for this are astounding. I'll show you what they are visually so you believe me. But also more than that, click-through rates for traditional real estate things are usually only 1 to 2%. The click-through rates on here are what is really shocking about how many people are actually using this report. And what that tells me is that they love it. They're finding value in it. They're opening it every month. And that's ultimately what we want, is a product that our clients are going to love and use. So yeah, so here their study for Homebot that they've done overall, all the people that they have on it it's a 58% monthly engagement rate. So that means 58% of people are at least opening the report. And more than that, as I said, or I'm sorry, less than that, but it's still a huge number are actually clicking through and engaging with their report. I'll show you our specific numbers in a minute here. Another amazing thing about Homebot is you can avoid getting Zillowed. And what do I mean by that? I think Zillow is a great company. They've offered some amazing resources to agents in the past, but ultimately, if your clients go onto Zillow, they are going to get sold as a lead to whatever real estate agent that is paying and has an agreement with Zillow. Zillow has changed their entire marketing platform now. It used to be basically pay for leads. Now it's not that at all anymore. Now Zillow is giving leads to agents. They are completely micromanaging how often you follow up, how often you're setting appointments, how often you're converting the leads. And then when the agent actually closes the deal, they're paying Zillow back anywhere from 30 to 50% referral fee on the transaction. So they've changed their business model, but they're still selling your clients as lead to other agents is the point of my story. So the most that we can get our clients off of Zillow and onto another trusted resource that we control, the better, right? So keep your clients yours. Don't let them go onto Zillow. Homebot's an amazing way for you to do that because they will trust the information. Here's an example of a report. Again, I'm going to show you a real live one in a minute, but it's the very top. It has your branding, the very top of the report. The next thing on the report shows the consumer, the estimated value of their home is. It also says that 39%, or that's up 39%, or whatever their actual number is from when they bought it. There's a button that they can verify it. If they click that, it's going to go as an email to you that they're requesting a CMA on their home. It then below that shows them the net worth of their home, or in other words, their equity. And if they click how is this calculated, it breaks down that equation for them to visually see how the equity is calculated. It also shows them what they paid overall, as long as they've lived in their house, towards their loan, and how much of that was principal and how much of that was interest. And this is always a gut punch for people to see because, as we all know, especially at the beginning of the loan, is very interest heavy. So this particular client, they'd paid $38,000 towards principal and $64,000 towards interest. It shows them that over the life of their loan, they're going to pay $316,000 in interest. And then it gives them options to save money, like I said, by doing a refinance or paying a little extra per month to get their, their ultimate interest down. And then the loan officer's branding really only comes in, as I said, when they click on any of the refi information or the, HELOC information, things like that, that are more on the financing side. That's where the loan officer that you're tied with, their branding would show up there. Another amazing tool that Homebot gives you is it gives you a personal URL, which basically means your own landing page to add more clients into Homebot. This is an example of what it used to look like. It's updated a little. I'll show you the new one. What I also love about this is I use mine on my phone. So I have basically taken the URL and saved that to my home screen. And I'll show you how, what it shows up as. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm going to try. It creates a little icon. Can you guys see that, anybody? I can't see myself, so let me see. Can you see here? I'm trying to think. A little, it's not showing. Oh, there it is. That little icon. See the icon? It creates an icon on your phone that when you click on it, it goes to your personal landing page with your branding. And why do I love this? Because if I'm talking to somebody at the grocery store or at a dinner party or whatever, I can then easily text them this link, or I can just say, hey, what's your address? I'll just, if you're curious what your home's worth, I'll just send you a report that you'll get from me every month with your updated information. So the landing page function is really helpful. I see some things are coming into chat, but I'm going to check in just a minute. Yeah, so the personal landing page is amazing. I have a lot of agent partners that are now using that in their email signature. Find out what's your home's worth, find out how much your home would rent for, find out, how much equity you have, and putting that in their email signature. I have a lot of agent partners that are using this in their social media, like in Instagram on a link tree or their link in bio. They're using their Homebot landing page. I have some other agent partners that have bought a domain name for themselves for this. JensonHomeEquity.com or whatever it is, something to your branding, and then they route that to here so that they then can advertise it on their business cards and things like that, as it is a little bit of a cryptic website address otherwise. But if you're using it as a link to it in your social media or on your email signature or as a button, you really don't need to worry about what the link says. But that's a really awesome feature that Homebot offers. Another thing that Homebot offers that I love is it has social posts already built for you to share on your social media that are then tied in to your personal landing page on Homebot. So meaning it's great because the number of people that you have in there can organically grow if you are sharing it on social media or on your email signature. So anyone who clicks on there and types in their address would go into your Homebot as a lead, and then they would receive that, that marketing automated from you every single month without you having to do anything. And also, Homebot is great for open houses. It's really great for all the neighbors that come in. So this says, ask them, do you have Homebot for your existing home? Most of the time, they don't know what Homebot is yet. But you could ask them, do you have a great tool that provides you with information on your home's equity? No. Well, I have one. Would you like it? I'd be happy to send it right over. And then, there's, like I said, with instant sign up on your phone or on their phone, they can sign up under your Homebot and receive those reports from you. So really helpful. All right, so that is the end of kind of the presentation part. And now is going to be the more practical side where I actually go into Homebot and show you what it looks like and how the user functionality works and how the dashboard is and all of that. In the meantime, I'm going to see if we have any questions. So let me look in chat here. Let's see. Millennials. Elisa, yes. Millennials love this really ultimately because they can kind of go in and play with it on their own and not have to really ask for the information, but it's still great that you are providing it to them. So it's definitely a great tool for millennials for social sharing. Absolutely. Awesome. Well, now what I'm going to do is show you guys what the Homebot dashboard looks like. And basically what happens is when you log in, so this is our actual Crawford Team Homebot, it shows you your 30-day performance for your actual database. So we have about just over 1,000 of our most recent closed clients in here, and it sends them out in batches, which I think is great because that helps with email deliverability. If they sent out 1,000 in one day, you're more likely to be marked as spam by the email servers. So that's why they do it that way. So in the past 30 days for us, it has sent it to 727 homeowners. Of that, we've had 516 people open it. So that's a 70% open rate, which is pretty staggering. And this is our real true data. And then of that, there's been 386 home views, which means that people have clicked through to open their report. That's a 53% open rate, which is crazy high. So that is amazing. That's why I love this system. That's what I told you. The open rates are great. Additionally, so we talked mostly about the homeowner functionality for Homebot so far, but Homebot launched new features for buyers as well. And I will say we have not loaded one single buyer into Homebot. We keep track of our buyers in our own CRM that we follow up with our own cadence. We don't want to confuse them by sending them another system, but a lot of our agent partners do use this to engage their buyers, especially cold leads. But we have 61 people that are in here as buyers. And how is that? That's from homeowners that get the report, clicking on the, I want to learn more about my market, because that's an option now, their zip code. So then when they go into that, they're able to click around and see what it's like to be a buyer in their zip code. And so we have people that have engaged just that way. We've gotten 61 buyer leads, same thing, very high open rates. Below this, what I love is this, it kind of is your activity feed or your hot sheet, I like to call it. So it literally shows you every single person and who's opening this. So a lot of my agent partners every Monday have a time block, or every whatever day, to go into Homebot and see who's engaging with their report that week. And they use that as their call log. And it's just a check-in like, hey, Denise, I saw that you opened, your Homebot report, and we're looking around at your home's market. Do you have any questions that I can answer for you? I'm always here to help if you need any real estate input, things like that. So they use it as their call sheet. So here's ours. It looks like, this person viewed it 22 minutes ago, and over the last 30 days, she's viewed her home's information twice and her home's market additionally too. So that means she's really interested. This person has viewed her home 4 times over the last 30 days and the market twice. And as you scroll down, you can see it's very common for people to engage with the report multiple times a month because they want the information. So this, like I said, is our actual dashboard here. The next part of it that I want to show you guys is the homeowner dashboard. So when you click on that, which I did not do yet, when you click on your homeowner's dashboard, it shows you all of the people that you have loaded in as homeowners. And here it lists them alphabetically, but you're also able to sort them by the value of their home. Sorry, it's taking a minute. So these people looks like they don't have a CMA, but then it color codes the value. You can also sort it by equity position. So this is what a lot of our agent partners do to kind of farm for potential sellers. Oops, we don't want negative equity. We want positive equity. So they use this to farm for potential sellers. So they call, let's pick a random person here. They call Steven and say, hey, Steven, did you know that homes in your neighborhood are selling for the highest prices they've ever sold at? Do you have any, questions, or have you ever thought about potentially selling and cashing out on all the equity that you've built in your home? So there's a great way to use that as well. You can also sort by their estimated balance that they owe left on their loan. And then you can also sort by rate. So if it says no data, a lot of times those are only for the people who don't have any loan information, right? Because if they've paid off their house, they're not going to have a balance on their loan and they're not going to have a rate. But you can also sort by rate, which is something, is more on the lender side. But still for you, you could do it as a courtesy call to your clients and say, hey, let's look here. Hey, Martha Brigham, did you know, it looks like she must have come in at a down payment assistance program at some point with a much higher rate. Hey, Martha, did you know that if you refied, rates are in the 2s right now? So that's also a great courtesy call that agents or lenders can use. Additionally, so I wanted to show you a real report here of what it looks like for a client. So this is one of our clients. Their property address is here. This is what they do, what they see when they click through on their report. It'll have all of your branding at the top. So this is a client that was not one of our agents' clients. This was our client. So it has our branding, but it has all of our information at the top. It has the estimated value of their home, and it gives them the option to tune the value. And when they tune the value, it gives you an email saying this person is tuning their home value. What do you think that means? Why do you think people would tune their home value, right? It's because they're usually really concerned about how much it's worth. They think it's worth more, they think it's worth less, but potentially selling. So that's a great reason to make that call. It visually shows them their home's appreciation or depreciation, hopefully appreciation, right? At any point in time, they can click and see their estimated home value in a certain year or date. And it shows them it's up 59% from when they bought it. If they click on this side here, it shows them their current or their loan information. So it shows them what mortgages are pulling on the property. It allows them to update the balance if they've done like a principal payment. It allows them to say if the numbers are correct, they can edit it. They can add a mortgage. Maybe if they've done a family loan or something like that, they can put that on there. But that is how the equity is calculated. It also here, this is the part that I said where you can get buyers out of your homeowners. is their zip code. It says it's in demand and picking up quickly. So if you hit take a look, it tells them about their zip code, homes in their zip code around their price point. So right now it tells them it is a strong seller's advantage. Homes in their price point have this many bedrooms and this many bathrooms. And if there's also a should I sell now? How's my neighborhood doing? But yeah, some great info for them. It usually says how long it takes to sell too. Let me look. That's what I said. These are highly interactive. So some clients' reports look a little different than others depending on their situation, but on the buyer pool, it usually says how long to sell as well. But back to the report, it shows them again, the net worth of their home. How is this calculated? It shows them that that's home value minus loan balance. They can update the numbers if they want. And then whatever it has for what's important now is specific to that client. So it will prompt them, depending on their equity position, it will have different buttons there. So it's telling this client that they could refi to drop their payment by that much a month. So it shows them what their savings over the time, the life of the loan would be, that their payment would go down by $150 a month. It talks about where information would go, how much the refi costs, and usually that the refi is all the costs are loaded into the new loan, so that there's nothing out of pocket for most clients to refi at this point. And then this is where if they hit any of these options, it would come to the lender that you're tied with. It also has national rates pulled in there, or rates from us as well, their lender that it's tied with. And then it gives them multiple loan options as well, a 30-year fixed, a 15-year fixed, a 5/1 ARM, that's not good. But yeah, for a 15-year fix, this person could save $50,000 off the life of their loan. So super interactive, lets them play with it, which is great. And gives them a lot of information there as far as saving money. Here's the part where it shows them the principal versus interest. They can change their loan numbers if they want. It shows them the interest over the life of the loan. It shows them again, and this is really awesome. A lot of people say, well, I don't know if I should refi if I'm not going to stay in my home very long. So this allows them to say, okay, if I'm going to stay in my house only for 3 years, I can still save $9,000 in 3 years by refining. But if I'm going to stay in it for 20 years, I'm going to save $150,000 by refining. So that's really helpful for consumers, depending on what their long-term goal, plans for their housing are. Here's the part where the drop down, they can pick how much more they want to pay per month towards their mortgage. If they paid $200 more a month, they would save $48,000 and pay off 6 years earlier. If they hit learn more about this, it would come as a prompt to you or to the lender, depending on which part they wanted more help with. This part people absolutely love. If you rented your home on Airbnb, which is such a hot topic, especially in our market, because I don't know if you guys know this, but in 2019, Scottsdale was rated the #1 market in the country for profitability for VRBOs and Airbnbs. So this is a super hot topic, especially for investors. So this shows them that for their home, which months are going to be hottest for them, how much they could make monthly, what the nightly rate would be for those months. How many nights they would have their home rented per month based upon average occupancy rates. And then it tells them if they want to make it basic versus fancy. And then if they only want to rent it, 8 nights a month when they go up to their cabin in Flagstaff, they could make an extra almost $2,000 a month, an annual revenue of $23,000. And if they put that towards their principal on their loan, they could save $159,000 in interest and 20 years off their loan. And then if they click, can you help me learn more? It gives information here. And then it has the prompts that would come to you if they want more questions. Next thing is it allows them to share Homebot here. And it also then would have all of your branding at the very bottom. So that is one report. I'm going to show you quickly another report and how they are different based upon equity positions. So this is one of our clients who has paid off their house. So they have no loans it shows them, again, their home's market's different, their net worth is different. It also gives them different options because they have more equity, so they can create a safety net. So here it gives them options of creating an emergency fund, making home improvements, adding more livable space to their house, paying down student loans, eliminating credit card debt, adding solar panels, splurging on a European vacation. So, and new and alternative investments is even an option in there now. So it gives them a lot of different options with their equity depending on their situation. It then also gives them this information here. If they bought another home, how much could they afford? If they were to sell, pocket the cash, sell, take the cash and put it as a down payment on their next home, they could potentially afford a $3.31 million house. If they were to buy an investment property with using their equity, they could potentially buy a $1.6 million investment property. If they were to rent their home and buy another house as their primary, they could potentially qualify for a $1.9 million house. And if they were to sell and pocket the cash, and that also is factoring in your commission as the agent, all the closing costs, and the buyer's agent commission, this is how much they would pocket. And then obviously, again, this person, because they have so much equity, it gives them different options with their equity here. So reports are really catered and targeted to the individual, which is amazing. I'm going to move this down here. The next thing I want to show you guys is the buyer side of it and what that looks like. So, like I said, we have all these buyers that have just become buyers under our system from clicking around. And it shows, their dates, their price point, but when they go in there as a buyer, it tells you they put in their price point, what price point they put in, what type of buyer they are. This guy said he was interested in investing, what his potential move date could be, and then what his priorities were. He wanted to put minimal money down, be in a good neighborhood, and he had a budget to stick within, and he told us what his favorite markets were. So I'm going to preview his report so you guys see what the buyer reports look like. He put in his price point. He can change it very easily here. It'll have all your branding at the top. It shows him the market temperature. So right now, for his areas that he put in, the average buying timeline is 88 days. The average home that he could afford based upon his price point is 1,554 square feet, and that would be $323,000. If you hit view, it actually shows you for what areas he's picked, what the market temperature is. So in this one, it has a seller's advantage. There's only 76 homes in that area around that price point, and they're selling in an average of 91 days. If they click how can I see homes, that would come to you as a lead. It shows them what their people are paying for homes and how long it could take to buy depending on what stage they're at here, where can I move faster. So it does give them some really good options for that. So what I want you guys to think though is this is not going to show them information about specific homes that are for sale in those markets. It more gives them information about the actual markets. So that's what this is great for. It's great for a buyer that's more in the beginning stages that really doesn't know where they want to live or what price points are in different zip codes or cities. So, but it does give them some really great information. So it shows them here, find areas you weren't thinking about. We'll do that in a minute, but questions, any of these triggers, what areas should I be looking at? Is there new construction I should know about? Those would go to you. How long it could take to buy. It tells them here based upon, their timelines. If it's a 45-day closing, they can adjust all of that. At what point can you afford certain interest rates? So it talks about how if interest rates change, how that would affect their price point that they can purchase. And then if they rented their home on Airbnb, what would it look like? But now I'll show you guys here the markets feature. So if they go to explore all markets, it shows them here, popular markets is what it's on. So it shows them which markets are very popular right now. And by that 100 is it is an insane seller's market, which we are in most markets here in town right now. But it shows them other markets that are hot that they could look at. If he wanted to look at where can I get a bigger house for that same price, it shows them other areas to look at where he could get a little bit bigger home for that same price point. If he wanted a cheaper home, it shows him areas to look at or consider with cheaper price points. And if he wanted a quicker move, it shows him areas with a quicker move. So let's go to the bigger house. If he wants show more, it's over here. In there, then you can click on any specific markets within there and it shows you their specific market temperature. So it's really good basic information for a buyer that wants to get started kind of exploring but doesn't know where to start. So these are great for the buyers who really aren't ready to go look at homes yet because you do not want to drive them all over town, all over this whole valley looking at properties to figure out where they want to live or what they want. This is a great tool to help them kind of get started in their search. Let's see. So that's it on the buyers that I was going to show you guys. I can kind of go back to it if you want and kind of show any additional features, but you're able to, you know, explore markets here yourself. So let's say, you know, if you had a buyer that wanted to search for a $400,000 home, and they wanted to be in Phoenix. I don't know why, maybe it's zip code. Let's try that. It is zip code. So let's say they want to be in Central Phoenix, which that's Arcadia. So that's probably a really bad zip code to pick. But it shows them here, you know, that which price points are going to be best for them for popular markets where they can move quicker and or get a bigger house. In those markets as well, so or where they could buy for less money. And then it visually shows them a map of the valley here of what average price points are in certain areas, and they can hover over any zip code and see what average price points in that zip code are. So that's super helpful for people that don't understand how Paradise Valley is very different than Phoenix 1 mile across Tatum, right? So that helps people see that very well visually. The next thing I wanted to show you guys is that personal landing page that we talked about. So what ours looks like is it's just a basic landing page. It's all mobile friendly and functional, by the way. So it does pull up perfectly on a mobile phone. But this is what it shows. It is a kind of a basic landing page. So it won't have your branding all over it, which is good because that's proven better for conversion. But it says build more wealth with your home, find out what your home's worth. So all they have to do is put in their street address and they'll come into your Homebot as a lead. It'll pull all their data automatically and send them their reports. And then here it'll have your branding. And yeah, they can grow their net worth by adding your address. There's also a little video here that explains to them what Homebot is. It has some of the features of Homebot and then again, all your branding at the bottom. So that's what your personal URL page would look like, which is amazing. A couple other quick features that I'll show you, and then I'm going to open up to questions, are under the Share tab. So as I mentioned, you have your personal landing page here with that kind of unique, the personal URL there. That's what I said. A lot of agents buy a domain name and reroute it to their URL. But it additionally gives you the options to share on social. So if you link it with your Facebook, it allows you to have here 3 quick and easy social share options. What's your home worth? What could your home rent for? Or can you afford another home? So let's see here. When I click that, I believe that I'm logged in. It then shows me what it would look like on my feeder story. So it would have what's my home worth? It's free for homeowners. It's a monthly financial dashboard, and I could put that to my feed or to my story. I could add, you know, any sort of caption that I wanted to introduce it. I can also put it to my friends or to public, which I've had a lot of agents do and get organic leads that way. But by alternating those, you know, maybe one different one every single week in a story or on a post, you can potentially get organic leads that way. The other option is it gives you the option to embed a widget. And a widget are those little buttons or boxes that are interactive. So it allows you to put it on your website or in your email signature or on any landing pages that you own. Just a simple what's your home worth box, where then if the person types in their address and hits check, they will come as a lead into your Homebot and receive that monthly report from you. It gives you the code here to embed right into your email signature or into your website. It also gives a rental potential button. How much could your home rent for on Airbnb? And then there's 2 sizes, default or compact, for visually what it would look like. It allows you to copy the code. And then if you need help, there's a whole like step-by-step instructions on how to put that widget into your email signature or to your website. So that's another really, really great tool. Another thing I wanted to show you guys is that if you are to partner with a lender, your lender does not see your database. And I have had a lot of agents ask that question, so I wanted to make sure to hit on that. So we have a lot of agents that we sponsor, and I want to show you here, like let's say Steve Caniglia here we do. When I click on him, actually, it doesn't even let me. So it lets me see, oh, it does, sorry. So it lets me see that he has 237 clients, and it lets me see his activity in the last 30 days, that 212 were sent, 138 were clicked through to the digest, or 279 email opens. So as you can see, that means some of his people were opening it more than once. But I can't click on these to see any of the contact information of his list. The only time we would see any of his clients or contacts information is if they hit those buttons to request the financing information from us, and then Steve and us would both get an email letting us know that John Smith wants to know about refinancing. So wanted to point that out as well. And then customize, it gives you a lot of additional options. Oh, sorry, I gotta get rid of this here, to customize your own Homebot. So it now allows you to send video emails with your Homebot to kind of tell your clients what it is. It has an integration with BombBomb. It has Zapier, which is in beta testing now. And what that means is that your leads could funnel from your CRM into Homebot or vice versa. So yeah, it has a lot of great features. They continue to add more. It also, there's a custom listing feature that just got launched. I haven't even researched that yet, but the system's growing like crazy, and they're going to continue to add more awesome features. Another thing I wanted to quickly show, and then I'm going to open it up to all of your guys' questions, is in your profile. That's where you put in all your contact information as you want it displayed. You can add your photo here. We chose a logo instead. But here under your digest settings is where you can customize the welcome email that goes out to your clients. So remember, as I said, it will automatically send a welcome email on your behalf to any client that then, you put into Homebot or that goes into your Homebot organically, and you are able to customize the welcome email. So this is their standard one. I fully recommend completely customizing the welcome email to fit you and your brand and your personality so that it is better received by your database. I also highly recommend changing the subject line, because nobody knows what Homebot is yet as far as consumers. So you don't want to say I've set you up with Homebot, because they're going to be like, huh, what's that? I don't want to have to pay for that. What do you mean? So what we have seen as better subject lines are, do you know what your home's worth? Are you sitting on a pile of cash? Do you want to know how much equity you have? Do you want to know how much your home could rent for on Airbnb? An amazing tool I've bought for you. Things like that work better than that type of subject line I found. Once you customize it, you can save yours in here. But I have a lot of great examples of how they've been customized if you want. And I also would recommend that you customize it depending on the contact type, meaning a lot of our agent partners will first import their past clients. And that's the first list. You should have that very easily, that you can pull of all the clients that you have sold or listed in the past. You should have their address already and their email address. So load those people in and customize the welcome email towards them as your past clients. Then the next group of people I would add in is your holiday card list. Like I said, friends and family and acquaintances and people that you know, and let them know what it is from kind of that perspective. You're not trying to sell them anything, it's simply just something you thought that they would be interested to know what their home is worth, and that if they ever have any questions, you are there for them as a resource, but you're not going to spam them, right? That's kind of the different approach you want to take with your friends and family. And then you can also do one for leads or for people in your farm area. You can customize the email to that as well. A lot of agents are using this as a great farming tool around their listings or recent sales. They're then sending this out to homeowners that live in the area and say, hey, I'm so-and-so with my home group or whatever your brokerage is. I just sold your neighbor's house in 24 hours. We had 13 offers. I don't know if you're curious about I thought you might be curious about what your home is worth. So I've signed you up to receive this amazing tool called Homebot. It shows you specific detailed information about your home and how you can maximize your equity through your house. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to meet you for coffee. So that's another way that you can use it as a farming tool. So that's how you can customize it there. And that's really kind of the last of it that I wanted to show to you guys. So I am going to open it up now for questions. I'm going to stop sharing, and I can always come back if needed. So, oh, great question, Johnny. Yes. And thank you for bringing that up because I kind of left you guys hanging here with cost on this. So there are different levels of membership for Homebot as far as functions. There are. So there's a free account that I encourage all of you guys to get. That enables you to add up to 25 contacts. So you can put, up to 25 closed clients in there for free, test out the system, see if you like it. They'll have all that functionality as far as their reports go, but you will not have all of those additional kind of functionality that I showed at the end as far as the integrations and things like that. If you want more than 25 contacts, it then is $25 per month to add up to 500 contacts. And that's enough for most agents. We have a few agent partners and teams on here that want more than that. So say you want more than 500, you're paying $25 for 500. You can pay an additional $10 for an additional 500. So you can have 1,000 contacts in there for $35 a month. So a lot of our agent partners and teams now, as they see how well this is working, they're using this for their farm in place of postcards or door knocking or email campaigns. They're using Homebot because they see that people are liking it. So you're all, $10 to market to 500 people in a farm. I promise you're not going to find anything cheaper than that. So it's really great for that as well. So I hope that answered your question, Johnny. So yes, different levels as far as price points and how many contacts you can add. As far as, the back-end functionality, you get all the bells and whistles with any paid thing over $25 a month. Let's see, Gwen, what if they have Homebot already? Will it allow duplication of emails? Great question, Gwen, and I believe that it will. I can double check on that and get back to you, but when we signed up for Homebot, which was 2 years ago, as I said, you could have people in there. And the reason that they did that was because maybe they, used one lender when they purchased their house, and then they used a different lender to refinance their house. And both lenders would be able to then market to that client. Same thing with real estate agents. So as far as I know, you still can have people on there twice, and then the client can choose to unsubscribe from one or the other or both. But the last that I heard, they left it up to the client, the consumer, to decide which report they wanted to receive. I can double check on that though and get back to you. And then if they had had it previously and unsubscribed, I don't believe that it blackballs or, unsubscribes them forever. I think that you are able to add them in after a certain time period. That's another question that I would have to ask Homebot. But, ultimately, the unsubscribe rates on this are so low that it's generally not that big of an issue, but I can definitely check. Another question, let's see here. Mike Bruin, can there be more than one agent providing information to the same homeowner? So yes, Mike, I think I just answered that. So there technically can be, and then it's up to the consumer to decide which one they want to receive. And that's why customizing those welcome emails initially is so important, because if you introduce it right to them and you remind them who they are, or if they haven't met you, remind them of what the value is that you sold their neighbor's house or whatever, then they shouldn't unsubscribe at the rate of just a straight cold blast email. Let's see, for farming, how to direct all the homeowners towards Homebot. Should I offer in a flyer, direct mail, or RE? What's the value of my home or how? Yes. So for farming, I would send it out via email and try to find a way to get all of their email addresses. You know, a lot of times there's skip trace list systems on the internet where you can do that and get their emails in there. Otherwise, I would then include, if you don't have emails, I would include it on a flyer that you door knock with your personalized URL on the bottom. So you could say, you know, Home Values by Nadia, or whatever your domain name is that you purchase. It would be, you know, you can get them for $5 a year now. You'll reroute that to your personal URL. They would go to Nadia's Home Values or What's My Home Worth by Nadia or whatever, and then get to your Homebot, your personal landing page. And then when they enter in their address, it goes to you as a lead. So that would work. Direct mail would work. Postcards would work. But anywhere you put your personal URL, they're able then to capture them as a lead. So I hope that answered your question. But definitely, I feel like it's most effective by having their emails and getting them in there and getting their, you know, sending those monthly digests to them every month. Let's see. And Mike, can homeowners that own multiple homes get reports monthly for each property owned? Absolutely, Mike. Great question. Yes. So I get both every single month. I love looking at them. One thing that I didn't show you, which I'm glad that you asked that, because it just triggered me, is I'm going to show you something really quick. So I'm going to share my screen. I forgot to show you this. So once you go into the client, let's go back to this person here. It will show you all of that client's information, obviously. So it's kind of operates as a CRM like that as well. And what I mean by that is it shows obviously their property. If they have any other properties, they would be linked here. Oh, we haven't sent digest to this client yet, so that's not a good example. But let me go to a different homeowner and I will show you what I mean. So yeah, people with multiple properties absolutely can be in here. We have a lot of investor owners that have tons and they love getting this and they use it, you know, for Airbnb data and things like that. So let's find one that hopefully has been active with their report. So maybe I'll do it by activity actually. So somebody who's recently been active with the report. It's loading slow, I apologize. Okay, so let's go to this person. She's been very active viewing her report over the last 30 days. And when I click into her, it then shows me you know, all of her activity. So literally timestamps when she does everything, if her value went up or down, it'll tell you visually here. So this person, that would be a great time to call. Hey, congrats. I saw that your value went up $9,000 this month. So for as long as they have been with you in Homebot, it will show you all of the activity that they've had since the beginning, which is really helpful. So I wanted to make sure to show you that as well. So yes, multiple properties, and yes, you can see all of their activity visually besides the email notifications you are going to get. And Nadia, already farming back to the previous question. If I have all the neighbors' emails, should I open accounts without their permission as a trial or only set up an account if they ask for one? Now, Nadia, that's completely up to you. I cannot advise you on that legally. So that is your decision. Whatever I can say is I know agents that have done both. I know agents who've done it as an opt-in and have gotten less of a response than just sending it and introducing it properly via the welcome email. I feel like if you introduce it properly via the welcome email, especially if you have sold or listed a home in that neighborhood recently, or even if your company has a very hot sale that you can market in that welcome email, it can prompt more engagement that way. So I hope that that makes sense. That's my politically correct answer. You can make whichever choice you want to make on that. But, you know, I know that's a little bit of a gray area as far as having permission. So you can make your choice. So any other questions? Feel free to unmute yourself if you want, or pop it into chat if you have any. Thanks, Nadia. Yeah. And yeah, I hope that this was informative for everyone. I love Homebot. It's been a great tool for us. As I said, I highly encourage all of you guys to at least sign up for the free version. I will send all of you an email with information. I'll include that first deck that I showed at the beginning, and then also some information about how we use Homebot and how our agent partners use it, and a link to sign up for an account through us if you want. That would be free up to 25, or if you choose to upgrade, it would be 25 a month. I also have a code to get your sign-on fee waived if you do the paid version as well. So yeah, I hope you're welcome, Lynette. And any other questions, feel free to unmute yourself and we can get those answered. Thanks for joining today.